We are fighting the fight of our ancestors, and this is the very reason we are having this problem. And until when we have a capital, until when we have a financial community, an economic community, where we can employ our own brothers, where we can employ our own kids, our own friends, our own family, and to really make sure we are not going through the same thing again. And that's the main reason why we are sending out this message. And you, as a black person, as a white person, I don't care. We just need to build a safe community. Hi everyone, welcome again, welcome back to Billions TV. It's me, your man Idris, and today I'm recording a video about how we can change the racial structure in Berlin, in Germany, because as a black people, we are living here, we don't have any capital, and we are living in a very capitalist society and community. And for that reason, and that's the main reason why I'm recording this video, and also to put our message out there, how we can change the whole perspective, how we black people have been portrayed, and also just to change the narratives a little bit, and also to just put out our message. That's one of the most important things. And the second thing is, if it's your first time on my YouTube channel, you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to press the subscribe button and also press the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video and a new content. And now let the camera do the job.
I find it really important that we talk about racism, because racism is not only a problem in America, for example. It's a worldwide problem, and we need to talk about it, especially in Germany, because the Germans don't talk about racism and they're not aware of racism. So many people are wondering when I talk about that topic, so it just seems like that people think it's an individual problem, but racism is a structural and systematic problem, so we need to start to educate and start in schools and the institutional places, because workplace is an institutional thing as well, so it means like racism is in our system, so we need to talk about it.
I think it's an important conversation to have, because I think a lot of people don't have the courage right now to talk about it. And as someone who works in a leadership role and who has worked in a leadership role with homogenous demographics, racially, culturally, whatever socioeconomic background, everything, you realize that is really no support. There's not much of you, even if it's from gender and race or various diverse demographics. You're kind of alone there, and you have to decide how full on you're going to go, and you're not allowed to fully go on and fully challenge, and you have to walk this tightrope, which I'm not a fan of. And I think I miss what I love being a researcher for, is that freedom to be harsher, because before I started this role I was in the university, and it was always like, go harder, and I like that. And it's like, okay, there are people in the university space. The university is problematic, we know that, but they also want you to go deeper and to say the truth and put it out there in the most let's say not so easy way. And here it's this conversation where I think a lot of people are afraid, and then you get complicit and you get complacent, because once you pass your probezeit, you're like, yeah, what's the point in changing? I'm not going anyway, and they pay me, and yeah, Berlin's expensive, and I can't find a job anywhere. And it's a problem with Berlin, where there's not a lot of jobs that are of quality that are going to pay your worth. And so it's this thing where I think people are afraid, and I'm more like, yeah, I actually think that this has given me more agency and more recognition by being more challenging outside of these private organizations. And I wish more people have the courage to support each other and not step on each other to get that one place, but to ask, why is there only one position for 30, 40 qualified people who are not generally of a white background who can do this job? Why are we not together? And I think that's something I've been questioning, is this fragmentation and compromise of our bodies in leadership roles, and in having not only equity but equality, and being more inclusive in our work. I think that, for example, diversity is just it's an image. It's easy to do. It's easy to put percentages and numbers and statistics, and numbers don't honestly tell the truth. You can quantify anything if you want. And so this conversation for me is important because I'm having the courage to say this, and I don't want to be one of the few. I think there should be more people that this topic is just an everyday embedded in that question of we want real change, we want real inclusion. Then you have to start speaking up and also not being complicit in silence and being comfort. As you know, the bourgeoisie dilemma is comfort, and I think Nietzsche does a great job of this, like such a wise person for a long time ago, about the Western dilemma, especially in Europe, is this kind of getting your comfort, the individualization of yourself, securing yourself, and then closing your world off with your beautiful balcony and nice flat and pension and saying, I don't have to change things. So these conversations are actually saying, this is not what we want. This is also, we come here with the skills and globally, and we come from places which, you know, I worked in much more, I would say, invigorating spaces and cities that actually you see the value of your work and you feel there's a community, and here it feels like you have to really decide what you want to do. If you want to be communal, if you want to change, or if you want to do it yourself, or if you want to play the game. And I think there should be less fragmentation between us. So these conversations, I hope, do make a change.
Businesses, you know, employment, education. I know I've written asking for lawyers, you know, who can help us. As long as we don't have any businesses or are not involved in politics, you know, and just marching up Oranienstrasse here for Black Lives Matter, it's not going to change much, you know, as long as we don't, in a way that makes sense. By that I mean, you know, giving people jobs so they can pay their rent, pay their insurance, get a good education. We need teachers, we need doctors, we need politicians that understand our situation. And with the refugee crisis, you know, that was started some years ago, it was quite evident that we are not organized, you know. We don't even have groups that I can go to help us with our basketball program, you know, to help, you know, provide, you know, mentors or, you know, help us with conflict resolutions. And as long as we don't have these basic things in place, we will always be going from one crisis to the next crisis. We are always reacting instead of being proactive, you know, to the situations that we find ourselves in, you know. So, I mean, like today, you know, I couldn't, on this whole street, there's one cafe on this whole street that's owned by a black person who employs black people. You know, a lot of times when a black person years ago would own a bar or a cafe, they would actually hire white Germans to work at these places, you know, and jazz musicians here, or any musicians, you know, they don't own the cafes. Take the YAM, for example, you know, it's the YAM, Youth African Art Market. But there's no African is in a position to collect the money, go to the bank, hire this person, that person, that person, to make sure that the kids are fed right. You know, these are things that we need to, you know, focus on, you know, and deal with, like all the other cultures here, you know, a Vietnamese restaurant across the street, the Turkish people, the Japanese, the Koreans, you know. You can walk up Kreuzberg and see all these different cafes and only have one black cafe in all of Kreuzberg called Khartoum, who I know the people. These are things we need to, you know, work on, you know, and you know, these, the young Africans up at Görlitzer Bahnhof or Görlitzer Park, they're there selling weed because that's the only thing they can do at this point. You know, they don't allow them to work. They won't give them the work permit. And if there's no black person that can even hire them, because hire them do what? We don't, you know, they can't work at a hair salon. So, you know, that's what they're, you know, reduced to, you know, selling weed or whatever to white Germans and white Americans. But the Africans are the ones that are being harassed and all on the news and all this other stuff. But so, you know, as long as we are in this vicious circle and don't, you know, break that circle, then we're always going to be going from one crisis to the next.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed this video because it's really important we are having this conversation, because when are we going to have like a safe community for ourselves? When are we going to build a community where we can employ our brothers, our sisters, and also just a very safe place for the next generation and the generation after? Because if we don't do the fight now, the next generation gonna be in the same problem, and we don't want that, because we are fighting the fight of our ancestors, and this is the very reason we are having this problem. And until when we have a capital, until when we have a financial community, a economic community where we can employ our own brothers, where we can employ our own kids, our own friends, our own family, and to really make sure we are not going through the same thing again. And that's the main reason why we are sending out this message. And you, as a black person, as a white person, I don't care. We just need to build a safe community, not for us, it's for everyone. And if you do enjoy this video, please don't forget to press the subscribe button and also press the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video and a new content. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.